Hello everyone, welcome back to UniVoyage. This is Manya from IIM Rohtak. So the IPMAT exam is now over and that must be very relieving for you all, right? But the race to your dream college, your dream IIM is not over yet. You still have to clear the PI round, and this video is going to be all about that. We're going to discuss, all the tips, the do's and the don'ts, and some advices that I have for you all from my experience. So let's get started. So my first advice to you all is to plan your interview before you sit for it. A lot of you have this misconception that the interview is just about the interviewer asking you questions and you answering those questions and nothing else. But this is false. A candidate holds a lot of power to drive the interview. You as a candidate can actually decide the topics that you want to talk about. How? So the interviewer does not actually sit with a list of questions that they are going to ask you. It does not happen like that. The interviewer asks you questions on the spot based upon your interests itself. So there's always this one set question in the beginning that is asked in 99% interviews, which is the tell me about yourself question. So through that question, the interviewer tries to catch what you are actually interested in, what you've done pehle, what you've done before, and something unique about you that they can further question you on or discuss. So if you prepare this question well beforehand, if you craft a creative answer for this question and you yourself cleverly put the topics that you want to discuss in that question, that it really pushes the interviewer to ask you the same, then you can actually drive the interview the way you want to. Next, make sure you revise your past subjects. So in the interview there is a component where they ask you questions from the subjects you had in your 11th and 12th grade. So whatever subjects you had, make sure you revise all the topics, whatever you studied, and you should know. Do not go very deep into every topic, but make sure you have something to talk about in each one of them. Also, do revise all the formulas. If you are from commerce, you need to revise all the formulas. From economics could be just a GDP wala formula, something like that, and even the formulas from accountancy and mathematics if you had that subject. If you come from the science stream, then formulas from physics and chemistry. Also, one advice here, so usually in the interview this happens a lot of times. So the interviewer asks you about your favorite subject or about your least favorite subject, so they can ask any one of those, and then they quiz you upon those subjects. So make sure that the subject that is your favorite, you are well prepared in that one, and the subject that is your least favorite, you are prepared to an acceptable level in that as well. Next, during the interview, keep a pen and a paper handy. So at times in the interview, the interviewer asks you to draw some graph or to write some formula in subjects like economics or accounts, math, something like that. So at that time, a pen and a paper comes in handy. Apart from that, they may ask you a certain question that you need to think for before answering it. So you can use the paper and the pen to jot down some points before you answer. So please do keep a pen and a paper with you during the interview. My next advice is to make sure that you sit in a quiet room during the interview. So if there are some noises around in the background, say there's a construction going on or something like that, that will hamper your own performance in the interview. You may not be able to think as fast as you would be able to otherwise. B, You may answer something, the interviewer may not grasp it completely because of the background noise, and C, it does not reflect, positively, because the interviewer might think that you're not serious about the interview and you chose to sit at a place which is so noisy or has a lot going on. Next, make sure you have a soft smile on whenever you're speaking to the interviewer, when you're greeting the interviewer, when you're listening to the interviewer. A smile goes a long way. It fosters some sort of comfort immediately, and it also creates a positive aura around. You never dislike someone with a smile on their face, so just smile. So my next advice for you all is to maintain an eye contact with your interviewer while you're speaking and while you're listening to them. So the eye contact helps you build a connect. It shows that you're attentive, it shows that you're confident, and it also shows that you believe in what you're saying. And I know maintaining an eye contact the entire time is very difficult. So I have an advice for you all. So while you're speaking to your interviewer, just imagine an imaginary triangle on their face. Alright, so the triangle starts from here and it goes till here. So if you're not able to maintain an eye contact after a point, you can look here, 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 matlab somewhere in this region basically. Alright, so it gives you a pause, it gives you a break from the eye contact, and at the same time you do not look zyada idhar udhar. So this is an advice that I got in my image management classes, which was very helpful, and I'm passing it on to you because I'm sure it will help you guys as well. Just make sure that you do not look below this point because that becomes inappropriate, and you do not look above it or sideways as well because then that leads to a disconnect. Make sure you stay in this very region. And also, in continuation to that, make sure you're sitting in a room which has good lighting. The interview just do not need to listen to you, they also need to see you. So make sure that the lighting is good and that you're visible properly. Now at times you must have seen in online meetings, if you've attended any of those, I'm sure you have during your online classes, that there are all kinds of people. So some people, they sit very close to the camera, which doesn't seem appropriate. Some sit very far away from the camera, which again does not seem appropriate. So make sure that your frame is perfect, your upper half should be visible properly, and it should be set in such a way that all your hand gestures are visible. So say if I'm talking like this and my hands are going out of the frame, it doesn't look very appealing. So make sure whatever you're doing, your gestures and everything, they are visible to the interviewer because it's a part of you and it should feel complete. Also avoid unnecessary body movements. So I'm not talking about the use of your hands when you're speaking, that is fine, but avoid fidgeting, avoid touching your hair or touching your face while you're speaking, because that reflects nervousness and you don't want that. You want the interviewer to see that you're confident. So avoid these things. My next advice for you all is to avoid attending the interview from your phone for obvious reasons. So while you're on your laptop, you can use the controls as you're speaking, but when you're from your phone, you just keep poking into the screen, which doesn't look very good. So that's one. And second, the area that your laptop's webcam covers, the frame that it covers and the frame that a mobile phone covers is different, and laptops is clearly better. So please try to attend the interview from a laptop or from a personal computer. If you do not have one, please try hard to arrange it. Another advice for you all is to not ask the interviewer whether you selected for the program or not. So as soon as the interview ends, most of the times the panel asks you to ask some questions to them if you have any, and sometimes candidates, they just straight away ask whether they will be selected or not. So I want to tell you that there is a proper way of announcing the results, and there's a date set for it. So even if you ask this question, the interviewer is not going to answer it. They probably do not have an answer for it. So please do not make it uncomfortable for the interviewer by asking this question, and even if you do, you yourself would sound immature, so avoid asking this. But at the same time, please do not leave out on this opportunity. Whenever the interviewer asks you to ask something, make sure you do have a question prepared, because this will just show that you're really interested to get into the college, that you have done your background research, that you've done your homework. And whatever question you ask, make sure it is it's an intelligent question. So it could be something related to something you read about the college online that you want to know more about, some society that you're really interested to get into once you get into the college, or something like that. So make sure it's an intelligent question. Make sure the interviewer wants to answer this question, and make sure the interviewer knows the answer to this question. So now a very important component that I have not covered in this video is how you should dress for the interview. It is extremely important and should be really thought about. I haven't covered it here because there's a lot to tell about that, and I want it to be a separate video because there are several points that I want to cover. So that video would be out soon, but at the same time you can leave out some questions that you have specifically to how you should dress, that I can address in that video. Also, an important update, we are soon launching our IPMAT 2023 batch. So this is for all the IPMAT 2023 aspirants who are watching this video. Do visit our website univoyage.in and book an appointment with us so that we can guide you through your journey. This was it for today. Make sure to like, share and subscribe to UniVoyage. I'll see you soon with another video.